Nation, Rob and Dave on the Humpday Show. We're talking all out of the Southern Fried Nation. We're talking all out of Cornbread Nation. Rob and Dave from the Rock Hall of Fame. Rob and Dave from the Cornbread Nation. We're talking all out of Southern Fried Nation. We're talking all out of Cornbread Nation. Rob and Dave from the Rock Hall of Fame. Rob and Dave from the Cornbread Nation. Southern Fried Nation. We're talking all out of Cornbread Nation. Rob and Dave from the Rock Hall of Fame. Rob and Dave from the Cornbread Nation. Humpday Views from the Cornbread Nation. Rob and Dave from the Rock Hall of Fame. Humpday Views from the Cornbread Nation. Rob and Dave on the Humpday Show. We're talking all out of Southern Fried Nation. We're talking all out of Cornbread Nation. Rob and Dave from the Rock Hall of Fame. Rob and Dave from the Cornbread Nation. Humpday Views from the Cornbread Nation. Humpday Views from the Cornbread Nation. Humpday Views from the Cornbread Nation. Rob and Dave on the Humpday Show.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Humpday Views right here on the Southern Fried Podcast. Y'all jump on in here and let's get rocking and rolling. Glad y'all are here tonight. God bless all of you. We don't mind saying that on here. Not at all. So hopefully I've got some improvements on my video. I've been working on that, and I think I have good video now. Haha. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's what I wanted it to do. Yeah. So now here we go. We're rocking and rolling again. Hey, Jen. So that looks a lot better, huh? I'd hate for people to miss all this clickbait I got going on here. You know, it's hard to get all this clickbait ready for the show and everything. Oh, my goodness. That's all right, though. I can be pretty. Dave's running, got some stuff going on. He'll be here a little bit later, hopefully. So it's just us right now. Kind of wait over everybody to get here, and we'll get on some topics. Oh yeah, this thing follows me wherever I go. Watch it. Watch it. It'll go back this way. I have control. Yes. So some upgrades here to the studio here down here in South Georgia. Some much needed upgrades. But here we go. I hope all of y'all have had a blessed middle of the week. Sorry I haven't been on too much lately. I've had a lot of stuff going on. But it's starting to wind down now. It's going to be just fine. Look forward to it. Oh, we've got a new show. Myself, Miss Elizabeth, and Joe and Donna from Love Endures Ministries. We're going to record it tomorrow. It's going to be a recorded show, and then we're going to air it out live on Monday at 1 o'clock with a couple of repeats in there over the weekend, maybe like in the middle of the week, and then another time like on Sunday. Hey, Barry, how are you doing? Glad to see you in here tonight. We're going to get on some topics here in a little bit. Got another show I'm working on. Hopefully we'll be able to do next month with some of the law enforcement here in Colquitt and Miller County, and talk about all things police. We love our police officers. Yeah, I pick on them a lot. You know, where have I been? Where am I going? None of your business. And it's not. But they have reasons for asking these questions. They have reasons on why they approach your car the way they do. They have reasons. And we want them all to go home safely at night. And that's important. So we're going to have them on. We're going to talk about all things police related. maybe has some advice for you on coming up here on the holidays, getting packages delivered and stuff like that. So, uh, also am going to reach out to the fire chief here locally and see if we can't get some fire safety tips. And good Lord knows I probably need those because, yeah, I go a little nuts. Uh, Barry said he's doing good. Went to visit Hangar today, Walmart, etc. Weather was lovely. Yes, it was a pretty day today. It really was. And yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful day. Well, we've been in for a few minutes, and I'm gonna throw us a topic out there tonight, and comments are more than welcome. Y'all know that. Where this is all discussion here. All right. Um, we've had all this stuff with Jeffrey Epstein. Release the files. Release the files. I think he's still pretty sore there, Barry. Uh, even though the Democrats had them for 4 years, they could have released them then. They opted not to. And now they're making this big stink about it. What do you think? How important do you feel the releasing of the Epstein files is? That's what I want to kind of hit on tonight. How important do you think that is? I don't want their opinions because they can't make up their minds. And apparently they're going to be released now. But in the grand scheme of things, how important is this to you and why? Let's throw an in why in there. I'll kick it off. I would like to see them released. Um, uh, hey, chickbait. I would like to see the Epstein files released. I think the people that are on there that were doing all that, that they need to be called out, and what they were doing and the whole 9 yards. Um, yeah, Barry, it might be heavily redacted. I dare say it will be. Everything they've released thus far has been pretty heavily redacted. Um, Trump's already said he'll sign it out as soon as they want to release it. He's good. He told them go ahead and release it. So, yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be an interesting turn of events there. And yeah, it's been long enough, chickbait. I mean, Democrats held on to it for 4 years. Thus far, the Republicans held on to it for another year almost. And yeah, it's time. Let's put it out. If you're on there and you shouldn't be, you're doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, it's time to call you out on it. Both sides of the aisle. Yeah. So everybody's held on to it just as long as you can. Now it's time to put it out there. Barry said the point is not to glorify Epstein in any way, shape, or form. We want to find the other Epsteins and the other Dibblers that are out there. You are correct. And if you had stuff to do with all that, Barry said a lot of young women want closure and they want the criminals exposed. Amen, brother. I can get behind that. But let's stop. Let's, I'm not a Democrat, in case you ever didn't know that this is about children, plain and simple. Yeah. Back in 2008, one stepmom stood up for her daughter and helped put Epstein in jail. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm still wondering about the whole, suicide. I'm just not. I just don't think that's really a good way to go there. I don't. There's too much coincidence there, and I know. He was on suicide watch. He just happened to leave. The cameras happened to just go down. There was a lot of hinky stuff going on there, and I can't, I don't buy into that. Although for what he did, hey, I don't wish that on anybody, but he deserves a lot worse than that quick way out. Um, but that's the way it wound up. And I still think, that they were afraid that he was going to name names and name, talk about stuff, spill the beans, so to speak. So, uh, yeah, I think it's high time. Let's air it out. Let's be done with it. Let's air it out. Be done with it. So, yeah, high time. I hate to even talk about him and give him any more publicity, but uh, yeah. All right. Well, that was one of my topics. Uh, I figured that'd be a good one to start on while everybody was getting in. And here is topic number 2. And this should be an interesting one. This could cause a lot of. She said, I'm trying to use Rumble. It's horrible on my laptop. Hey, chick bait, you use whichever one you want to. Uh, this one here should get some stuff going here. Uh, and this is off of Fox News, and you don't have to relate back to Fox News. You can get this information anywhere. Democrats and Republicans remain at odds over extending subsidies that Biden administration introduced during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is on Obamacare and healthcare. They came about during COVID. Okay. So let me throw some thoughts out there, and I'll start it. You're the only liberal loved around here. I'll have you know, I love all y'all little liberals out there. I ain't got nothing against nobody. Uh, you know, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So, and I wouldn't step on your opinion. Uh, so I'm gonna. We need all that prayers out here, us lives. I think you do, but it's okay. It's okay. You're still entitled. My opinion on this doesn't matter. But but I'm going to throw out on this Obamacare thing here just a little bit. These subsidies were presented during COVID. I dare say we can all agree that we're done with COVID now. Okay, it's time to let those subsidies drop. Hey, Lewis, how are you doing tonight? But Obamacare there's a lot of faults and flaws with this government mandated insurance. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Don't you be mean to Lewis, chick bait. Be nice. Barry, I hope you're out there. Now, I've had to use it before. I was on disability for a long time, or trying to get my disability pushed through for a long time, and I had to use it. I didn't have a choice. But it's guaranteed coverage. So everybody has to pay for the coverage of those that use the healthcare system a lot more. Now, unfortunately, I'm one of those that use the healthcare system a lot more. Should I pay more? Yeah. I'm on my disability now and it's covered, but yeah, I think if you use it more, it should cost more. And that was the train of thought for a long time. The couple, and that's one of the provisions. Okay, and coupled with that is the community rating, which bans insurers from charging older people more than 3 times what they do younger people, regardless of their health status. When they start throwing out these rates, that's the price for a healthy person, because the price can't go below whatever you charge the sick person, and and that's the price ceiling for the sick person. So everybody pays basically the same, no matter what your health risk is. So if you're out there, you don't go to the doctor but twice a year, you got to pay for someone like me who has to go to the doctor maybe 10 times a year. That's not, I don't think that's exactly fair. You know, I think everybody should have health coverage, but I don't think it's fair on some of this. There's also an essentials health benefit requirement that stipulates that the health insurance plans must cover certain things like inpatient and outpatient hospital care, mental health services, prescription drug coverages. Um, uh, well, yeah, they do, but we're not talking about that, chick. We're talking about the mandates here, and we're talking about some of the pros and cons of Obamacare. Uh, Good thing is, there is a good thing. People can afford it by using their tax credits. That's a good thing. It makes it a lot more affordable. And I'll say that. I mean, because I was on it for a while. Uh, but some of the stuff like the things that they have to pay and get covered, it's like if an individual family wants a plan that doesn't cover alcohol rehabilitation or hair prosthesis, they still have to pay to cover these benefits. The family does. And they add tremendously to the cost of coverage. Yeah, Lewis, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Everybody has, there's nothing to be ashamed about it. Not a thing. Don't, and I'm not saying that you do, but don't if you do. All right. So the whole thing is Medicaid expansion was the only good thing in Obamacare. The other side was horrible for buying health care, so there was no middle ground, in my opinion. Good, Lewis. Don't be. But what they're talking about here isn't even anything to do with the original outlining of Obamacare. It's not. This is the extensions and the additional discounts they provided during COVID. COVID's done now, so it's going to go back up to where it was, and probably a little bit more, because let's face it, it's gone up. It's made to go up. It's made to. And what I think personally, if there's going to be, what this was not health reform. This was health insurance reform. This had nothing to do with health care. One of the things that I find with Obamacare, which is already very expensive, is that at least it's something the Democrats supported because they all have. Well, yeah. This was bad reform, but nothing bad being on ACA. Yeah. The disappointing thing about the Republican Party is they don't have a similar or better proposal for health care. Okay, I'm gonna get to that and some of my thoughts on it and where I think it might be heading to. They are jumping all over the insurance companies, and what we're going to see is another health insurance reform. I believe, and I could be wrong. You mentioned the tax benefits that used to have HSA programs. Will you use pre-tax benefit? Where you use pre-tax benefits? Elderly folks on Medicare don't pay that. No, we don't. And disabled folks don't either. We need a Disney character sponsor a new program because it's the circle of life. All right. Here's what I would personally would like to see happen. And good luck on this. Barry says, my point is we need a comprehensive plan and you need to draw the line in the sand over some things. Should healthcare cover gender transition, etc.? Okay. Gender transitioning is an elective surgery. You choose to have this surgery. I do not think it should be covered under that. Yes. Dental and vision for younger folks? Exactly. But let's take a minute. Let's look at the healthcare system that we currently have. And I'm going to speak out on this because so is Viagra, but my taxes pay for it. And they'll definitely have to rein in big pharma, Democrats and Republicans. Both are beholden to pharmaceutical companies, and that has got to stop. Okay, let me get on both of those right there. So let's just pause here for just a quick second. Let me get these thoughts out. All right. Being able to perform sexually. All right, chick bait, we'll listen to you. Big pharma stinks. Okay. Gender transitioning is an elective surgery. All right. That is a choice to make, but it has nothing to do with the ability for you to engage in intercourse. And let's face it, that's a big part of anybody's mental stability. So rare I'd find a unicorn sooner. Huh? I don't know what that has to do with our topic. All right. But it being able to have sexual intercourse is a big part of mental health. All right. If it really does, it affects people, it affects guys a lot. So yeah, I think that it would be. All right, chick bait. What do you want to talk about? I can't bebop around like that. I'm sorry, I just can't. So what do you want to talk about? Let's let you pick a topic. I've yet to meet a transgender on a daily basis. I don't know that I have either. Well, you're going to have to type it out. I mean, my topic has no interest for you. Okay, then can we go with my topic then? All right. Now, let's see if I can remember where I was. Oh, we're going to, I'm going to log off, I think. I don't know if I can do this, chick. I really don't. I have tried 6 times to get this thought out, and you've interrupted with something there that I just can't follow. I absolutely can't, and I'm trying to. And I would like to cover my topic on my show, if it's okay. I really would. And I would like to get this thought out. I know she's being silly. And I understand that. And I want her to have fun. But I'm going to mute you so I can't see what you're saying. I'm going to turn chat off so I can get my thoughts here. And I will catch up back with your thoughts if I have time before Humpday Views or Humpday Bend, Southern Fried Bend. Yeah. All right. Chat's off. All right. I think there's going to be some form. I think there needs to be some form of a better system to perform health care. Like the prices that the hospitals, and this is a big thing, and I don't know if y'all realize it or not, but when they just charge you, that is a discounted rate. They discount that rate. When they charge the hospital, it's everything costs more. They really jack up the prices for the insurance companies to pay. Well, if what I pay is enough to cover it, why are you jacking up the prices for the insurance company? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem fair. It should be one price. One. Come on, guys. I mean, the healthcare system's trying to bleed as much off they can off the insurance companies, every extra nickel that they can get. And at the same point in time, we have to pay higher insurance fees. If there was a dropping of that and an accountability for that from the healthcare system itself, these hospital administrators and such as that, then maybe that in and of itself would help drop insurance prices. And I think that's the way that we're going to be going. I hope it is. All right. So got chat back on now. I managed to get my thought out. Okay. So what do y'all think about that? I mean, has anybody tried to self-pay, versus seeing the self-pay versus what you pay the insurance pays? Has anybody ever seen that? I have. I know when I had my heart attack and triple bypass surgery, if I had self-paid that, it would have cost me about $175,000, which is a lot. My insurance company was charged over $250,000. Okay, that's $100,000 increase. Now, who foots that bill? Who foots that bill? That's the insurance company. That's where your Obamacare and all that kind of stuff. That's why they have to be subsidized so heavily. I really think it has a lot to do with the administrations at the hospitals. I've avoided urgent care for this reason. I'll tell you what, urgent care can be a lifesaver at times. I'm not going to downplay the urgent cares. They have a function. If you don't need to go to the emergency room, you're sick, you can go to urgent care. If you don't have a regular doctor, or even if you do have a regular doctor and it's on the weekend, you can go by an urgent care. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know how much more they charge, but Barry said, I heard there was a website where you can compare the rates with what they should be nationwide. Yeah. I think there is. I don't know if there still is or not. You should get an itemized bill and compare what they charged you and be prepared to debate charges. I have an angiogram. I had an angiogram in 2023, and they repeated the procedure, accomplishing nothing. Yeah. You run into that a lot. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. I've been running into that lately. My immediate family works in insurance. They get the money. The bill out of pocket should match the insurance bill. You have to ask and see the financial department at the hospital. I did that for a dental emergency. And then yes, debate. Okay, well, let's do this. I'm going to put a challenge out to all of our folks out there tonight. When we, as a group, go to the hospital, let's see if we can get that. Let's go by the billing department and get an itemized deduction. What it would cost for you versus what they charged. But yeah, your bill should match what they charge the insurance. Always. But I guarantee you, it don't. Because the administrators, if you've got insurance, they're going to go for everything they can get. Yeah, you're going to have to ask the billing department, and it will not be on the same bill they give you. It will not. And I don't think that's right. If they're charging the insurance companies more, then the insurance money I'm not saying the insurance companies aren't making their fair share. Okay. I'm not. But if $100,000 more for the insurance company versus what it would have cost me, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And they wonder why where the problem is. That's part of it right there. Another good chunk of the problem is if you don't go to the doctor if you go to the doctor more, you should have to pay more than the people that only go once or twice a year. Come on, that would be fair. If you wreck your car insurance goes up. I don't understand why there's a different concept between that and the health insurance. Now, everybody should be able to afford health care. There's too much going on with it right now to keep it affordable. They said that's not right. Insurance asked for more, not the hospital. Insurance billing and paperwork, etc. So the hospital, what you're telling me is like, and the difference in the bills that I saw, and I went by the billing department and got it. Okay. It was the insurance company asking the hospital to charge them more than they would charge me. That was $100,000 difference. You expect me to sit here and believe that the insurance are asking them to charge them more? Barry said, I wonder, as with the drugs, what do doctors bill in other countries compared to the United States? What are the charges for medical procedures in, say, Venezuela as compared to the United States? The insurance tag. I would like to see that information, Barry. But not just Venezuela. I want to see it worldwide where we compare it. They tag on extra charges. Insurance tags on more charges than the hospital direct. They have needs. Laugh out loud. Okay, you're not making sense. I promise you're not. To me, anyway. Why would the insurance company tack on more charges so they have to pay out more? That doesn't make sense. It's the hospital asking for more and more and more that they tack on if you have insurance. No, you're not. You could check, because the insurance company, their goal is not to spend money, and the hospital is charging more. So I don't get what you're saying there. It doesn't make sense in any shape, form, or fashion, really. I can't see them doing that. But if that's what you believe, go for it. You know, I'm not going to convince you otherwise, because now it's a debate and you have to win. But yeah, I don't believe the insurance company is asking the hospital to charge them more, so they have to spend more. Barry, back to you here. In Gainesville, Georgia, we have Northeast Georgia Medical Center. And they said they weren't going to accept my insurance, which was at the time Anthem, so I had to go to Northside Hospital. The hospital actually turns down certain insurance companies if they don't agree with them, which is actually kind of sad. Yes. They said, why do you think Arabs from across the world come here and pay out of pocket? United Arab immigrant patients don't have U.S. insurance. They pay out of pocket. That's my point. Because if you pay out of pocket, it's cheaper. If you have insurance, they tack on more and more and more to it. Not because the insurance company asks them to, but because that's just the way the hospital and the hospitals are run in this country. And Barry, you are absolutely right. Some of these insurance companies, you know, they can't do business with them, and the hospital won't accept them because the insurance companies are like, okay, that's ridiculous. It doesn't match up across the country. You're charging an exorbitant amount, and we're not paying that. So they just refuse their insurance. Chickbait, I'm not saying that insurance isn't a problem too. I'm not. Yeah, I agree with his sentiments on that too. Yeah, forget Obamacare, give the money back to us. I agree with that. But I'm not saying that the insurance has nothing to do with the problem. You said that twice now. Yes, insurance is a middleman. But the hospitals and the hospital administrations are charging exorbitantly more to the insurance companies than they charge for an individual. There should be no difference. The insurance company is there to make money too. And if you take away their money at the front end, then at the back end, when we have to pay premiums, we have to pay it. They have to recoup their money there. What? You agreed with me? You know, it should be the same price that gets charged to the insurance company versus the price that was charged to me. It should be the same. There should be no difference. Somebody has to make up that difference. All right. And the way it is right now under Obamacare is the taxpayer. Under work insurance, the people that pay for it, their prices go up. You know, it causes increases in your insurance costs. Insurance takes more, hospital makes baseline. It's not the same price because hospital gets its sum, insurance gets the more. Okay. $100,000 more, like on mine? Really? You think that's fair? You don't think that the hospital and the administration of the hospital jacked it up to get just as much as they could out of the insurance company? You think that the hospital didn't take advantage of that? Really? It's an added charge. Hospital is fair. Insurance takes more, and it's not fair. Insurance jacked it up. The insurance may have jacked up their rates, but the hospital, I guarantee you, jacked up what they charge the insurance company. Insurance jacked it up. They don't get that the insurance company gets it. It's what? What are you talking about? I mean, seriously, I have no clue what you're even talking about, and I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to get where you came from. You said you agreed with me a minute ago, and now it's nonsensical. What are you doing? If hospital took it all, then how does the insurance company stay afloat? I'm not saying that the insurance stays afloat by raising premiums. And you're going to find out in January just how much the premiums are going up and have gone up. Okay? Because these tax subsidies from the COVID era are going away. All right? So your baseline for what you pay for insurance is going up. How does it? Okay. Explain this to me. All right. I think I see what you're trying to say here, but it's silly. And I'm going to say that outright. All right. You said the hospital has a base rate. That's true. We agree. But insurance adds to the cost. Okay. The big bad insurance company, I agree, they're pieces of crap, most of them, are wanting to make more money, right? But they have to pay, okay? They have to cover what they say they're going to cover, correct? Right? That's why you don't have to pay it. It's because they're covering it. Would you agree with that? Are we on the same page? Chuck, quit it. I see you behind me now. I couldn't used to see you till I got this new camera. Quit it. I'm not going to whack you with that, but I want you out of there. Okay, so we're on the same page. All right, so now if the insurance wants to make money, okay, and the hospitals and the administrators are charging them more, or charging more for procedures than they're charging an individual without insurance, then aren't they ripping the insurance company off? They're charging them more. Yeah, okay. But that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. U.S. healthcare costs more, mostly because insurance company adds tons of paperwork, negotiations, profit layers and billing complexity, and that all gets passed down to patients. Okay, that is absolutely true. I'll go along with that. What's that got to do with what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the hospitals and the administration charging more to the insurance company than they charge to individuals. Okay, so that saves money for the individual that's paying for himself, but by charging more to the insurance companies, they have to recoup that somewhere, and they do it by increasing their rates. They're not going to cut out any of the paperwork. They're not going to cut out any of the layers of the other stuff. So if there's going to be any real reform, it needs to be on the hospital side where they charge the same price for the procedure every time, not elevating it because someone has insurance. I think both parties need to come up with a plan to benefit people and have better insurance that benefits all Americans, especially people who have pre-existing illness. I can get along with that. Hospitals charges insurance companies more because insurers negotiate discounted rates. So hospitals start with higher prices to make sure they still end up getting paid enough after those discounts. Okay. I'm sure that you are absolutely right. I'm sure that bill I got that showed me paying $150,000 if I self-paid, but because the insurance paid for it, it was over $250,000. I'm sure I was completely wrong in that. There wasn't $100,000 difference between what I would have had to pay and what the insurance company had to pay. Okay. All right. But because let me explain here, Chick Bay. I had insurance. I had a $2,000 deductible. Okay. I get you, Lewis. I had a $2,000 deductible. You know what I had to pay? What I had to pay. I had to pay $2,000. Okay. If I had not had insurance, I would have been due to pay $150,000. Paid $2,000. Fine. All right. But instead of the insurance getting charged $150,000, they got charged for over $250,000. That's because the hospital jacked up what they charged the insurance company versus what they would have charged me. Barry says, I'm going to open up a can of worms where I comment on this. But what about the possibility of Medicare for all? The level of Medicare you get is, as you said, you would have to pay if it was direct to the consumer. What I hate is that the U.S. healthcare system is unique in the entire world, that our system is different than all others. Okay, let me go back up here to finish what Barry said. The level of Medicare you get is, as you said, will vary on the usage, whereas the younger people may not have to pay in as much. My Medicare B, I think, requires me to pay $187 a month. I think mine's $160 something dollars a month, 167. Look, I would be for that. You know, it's never going to happen, but I'd be for that. And it would make a lot of sense. But there again, it's not going to work until there's some reform at the hospital. So they charge the same thing for each procedure to each person. Okay. I was glad to pay, Chick Bait, I was glad to pay $2,000 versus 125 or 150,000. I was glad to pay the 2,000. Barry said, judging on their ability to stay open for a year, I don't think the government should be involved in the medical program at all. I wonder what their European model is really like. Chick bait, you had to go to Chat GPT to figure that out. Yes, it is different because we do rely on insurance and not universal coverage. And U.S. is not like any other system worldwide. Got that. I tried Grok first. Chick bait, come on. Come on. We all know it's not like anything else in the world. We all know it's on private insurance. We know that. We got it. It's okay. What I'm saying is there is no reason for the hospital. Now, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. There is no reason for the hospital to charge me a certain amount, but charge the insurance company a different amount. Somebody has to pay the difference. Okay. Listen to me. I know. Yeah. But if that were corrected, Chick bait, if it was the same rate of what they charge for people, instead of jacking the prices up and taking it to the insurance company, if it was the same as what they charge people without insurance, the insurance company wouldn't have to jack their prices up as much. Can we correct it? Yes, I think we can. This is one here. This is something that I think that we can correct, and it may, Barry, lead to maybe a Medicare for all. All right. If you let the insurance companies, we'd have to buy them out. The states would have to buy them out, and I'm not for this because it's another government, all the red tape and stuff that's going to be in there. There's already a lot for Obamacare, but if you did away with the insurance companies, that money there go into funding Medicare, and you have to crack down on the hospitals. If it's going to Medicare, they can't jack the price up. It has to be the lowest price that it can be. And everybody still get paid. If we do that and we don't jack the price up on, for that, because it's going to Medicare or the insurance company, then, we could get health care affordable, but that's what it's going to take. And this is a big sweeping thing. Health care is Jesus. Just stop the insurance companies. Yeah. It's not the hospitals. You're wrong, Chick bait. We've gone over this 50 times. I'm not saying that the insurance companies are golden children. I'm not saying they do everything right, but I am saying the hospitals jack their bill up because they're insurance companies. Well, Georgia already has its own marketplace that basically got you through the Affordable Care Act, and Georgia Pathway steps in when you get Medicare. Right now, I just have the Medicare and the A and B. So, one question I not have is, say you get an MRI, how much do you pay until that MRI machine is paid for and the cost of the operation is covered? I don't know. I really don't know. I know they're very expensive. No, the hospitals do that for the insurance companies. Without the companies, it wouldn't be so, Rob. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it would or not, Chick bait. Redneck Rambler. Hey, I like that name. I recall Rush Limbaugh telling a personal story on a hospital visit of his. He had an emergency visit on which he saw the bill on which the hospital ran through his insurance. He then asked if he could pay for it out of pocket. It was dramatically lower. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. If you pay for it out of pocket, it's one price. If it goes through the insurance, it's a whole lot different price. Barry said one episode of MASH covered this one. Alan Alda compared what the government was charging for an x-ray in Vietnam with what hospitals in the U.S. was charged? Yes. You don't think so, Chickbait? You think that the hospitals are perfectly legit and they don't jack up nothing for the insurance companies? These two systems are playing off each other, one off the other, and they both need their heads slapped down in the dirt. Both of them, the hospitals and the insurance companies. You're sounding like you're bleeding heart for the hospitals, and they're just as bad as everybody else. My dad didn't like me playing girls basketball, so played Rush Limbaugh in the car to make fun of girls in sports. For me, fun times. Yeah, yeah, you're saying poor hospitals, poor little hospitals. Oh my goodness. Oh, those horrible insurance companies are picking on those poor little hospitals. Both systems are screwed and they need to be fixed. It needs to be an overhaul and it needs to be from the bottom up or the top down, one of the two, but completely revamp both of them. Both. It's like one's trying to take advantage of the other one every chance you get. So it might be good to have a patient advocate to help you that deals with both what the insurance company will pay and what the hospital demands or needs. Yeah, that would be interesting. All right. Well, see, all right, Chick. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna try this yet again. Said I wasn't going to, but I'm gonna try this yet again. All right. Have you got a pencil and a piece of paper? A pencil and a piece of paper. Write this down. In one side, on the left side of the paper, write down $100. On the right side of the paper, write down $100. Okay. Now, on the left side of the paper, you have what the hospital charges you. Okay. Say they're charging you $20. Okay. And subtract that from the $100. How much money is left? You're subtracting $20 from $100 because your bill was $20 is what the doctor charged you. How much money do you have left? That would be $80, correct? Now we're going to get from this doctor sucking from the insurance company. Okay. Now, you ready? Your insurance, you have a $10 deductible. Okay. So out of that right-hand column, you write down $10. You're paying that for your copay. Okay. Subtract that from the $100. That leaves you $90. No. You go to the other side, to the other $100. Okay. Because this is what the insurance is going to do. Okay. The other one you're done with. The first one on the left, you subtract. You paid for it yourself. It was $20. Now it's $80. Now go on the other side. I said make two columns of starting with 100. All right. So now go to another column and make $100. Now, when you go to the doctor, you're going to pay a $10 copay. Okay. Subtract that from the $100. That will leave you $90. All right. Oh my gosh, Chick, you're screwing with me. I know you are. Stop it. All right. Now, The doctor or the administration at the doctor's office or the hospital or whatever is going to charge the insurance company $30 for doing the procedure versus the $20 that he charged you. So subtract that from the 90. And that brings us down to 60. All right. So the hospital made $10 from you, $10 from the insurance. No, just the insurance column. You're done with the first one, with the first column. You paid $20. You've got $80 left. Okay. And then in the second column, you subtracted it out. You've got $90 left. All right. Now, here's my point. The hospital is going to charge the insurance company $30, another $30. Okay. That's going to leave $60 in one column and $80 in the other. They're going to end up getting double. They're getting $10 from you for your copay. They're getting an extra $10 from the insurance company for a procedure that costs $20, which is what they would have charged you to start with. Can you follow that? No, you can't. Okay, I tried, chick bait. I hate both of them, chick bait. I don't say I hate them. I just like both of them. I feel like they're both set up to cheat. So, yeah. All right. Well, it's about time to jump over to Humpday Vents, which is our Rumble Premium. It's only out there on Rumble. Chick Bait, you and I can cover basic math at a later point in time. So I'm going to give it about 5 minutes, and we're going to fire up on the Rumble Premium. Y'all jump in over there. And yes, Chick Bait, we will. This will be Rumble only content. So if you don't have Rumble, what's wrong with you? Go get it. And we'll get to Humpday Vents here in about 5 to 8 minutes. So let's rock and roll, guys.